you know, positives, obviously we were able to come out of it with a win. I thought that we at times had really great energy offensively and defensively, especially to start the game. I thought we were locked in defensively, and I thought we were able to, you know, create a bunch of turnovers and give ourselves some opportunity to score it. You know, I thought our energy kind of ebbed and flowed, unfortunately, a little bit too much, and that allowed, you know, Sacred Heart to keep making runs at us. I thought we didn't finish out the half very well. Stuff that, you know, I think is, you know, some of the breakdowns we had were some routine things, and then, you know, obviously in the second half, I thought we didn't do a good job of you know, boxing out and being able to get on the glass as much as we needed to, and but fortunate to be able to get the win and, you know, have enough offense to be able to get by.
Can you speak to what AJ gave you guys tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's about as high a level effort as you can imagine. I mean, having him and EJ and Asicki go at each other the way they did, you know, was really, really impressive. You know, even in the stretch in the second half where they start to come back, make it pretty close. Charles Bain gives up an offensive rebound to Tyler Thomas. We put AJ in the game, he scores 5 straight points and gets the next 2 defensive rebounds. It's like, you know, all of a sudden you could breathe for a second, you know, and I just thought he was everywhere tonight. You know, some really great blocks, some really good wall-ups. You know, you're constantly being pounded on by Asicki and Spellman. Those guys are loads, strong as can be. And I thought he stood up to the challenge really well, and obviously, you know, made play after play after play for us offensively.
Savion as well made a couple big shots in that second half. What can you say about him coming off the bench when guys like Josh are struggling a little bit shooting?
Yeah, Say's got like, you know, the Vinnie Johnson microwave action, 10 shots in 11 minutes. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy that we encourage to go in and shoot and score. You know, I think when he's not being aggressive, he's not as effective for us. You know, and you know, he had that stretch where he made those 2 jumpers against the press, and then he made the 3, and that kind of, you know, opened the game up. I wish we would have maintained some of the urgency that we had at that point, and that our energy level didn't get dictated sometimes by the ball going to the basket. But you know, like I said, Say gave us a huge lift. AJ obviously was awesome. I thought Josh down the stretch had some really great drives that allowed us to keep that cushion that we needed, and I think everybody's contribution was critical.
AJ didn't miss a shot tonight. He had 20 rebounds. Have you ever had a guy who played such a perfect game?
No, have not. Not even close, probably. I don't even know what the rebound, 13 maybe was the most that we ever had a guy get rebounds prior to. Bucky had 13 at one point.
Yeah.
So I've never anybody at 20, and certainly not doing it and going 9 for 9 at the same time. And playing against one of the other best power forwards in the league. So you know, it was a pretty incredible effort by him, and you know, you could kind of just see his focus as soon as he got in the game was, you know, just that energy, that production, that playmaking that we've, you know, come to rely on.
Has defense been the catalyst for you guys in the first part of the conference season?
You know, I think our defense has been good. Obviously, our shooting through the first 4 games was excellent. The last 2 games has been horrendous. And so, you know, it's got to be a combination of both, right? I thought that our offense was good enough today in spurts to be able to get it done, but obviously holding the team to 55 points, you know, is going to help you win games more times than not.
Andy, I think you guys played well defensively all night, but they went 7-22 in that first half without a point. What was flowing right in that stretch in particular? How can you kind of hone that in and try to, I mean, you're not going to shut the team out, but
right.
how do you get them to play like that?
You know, I think, you know, just our urgency, right? Every time the ball moved, guys were moving. I thought our communication was good. I thought our ball pressure was good. And that allowed us to kind of make them take some tough shots into shot clock, right? I thought we did a good job of fronting Asicki at that point in time. We got a couple turnovers off that. And I just thought it was, you know, a team defensive effort during that stretch. I thought at the end of the half, we started to get a little lax and a little sloppy, right? And we allowed 10 points probably in the last 4 minutes of that half. And just stuff that we, you know, got to be able to maintain our focus with, right? We talked in the locker room now about, you know, your focus is like a muscle. You got to start flexing it more so it gets stronger, right? I thought some guys were engaged at different parts of the game, and then shortly thereafter became disengaged. And you know, you can't do that if you're going to be able to consistently beat some of the better teams in our league.
I know you said they were thinking a little bit against Merrimack against the zone. How do you think the ball was moving tonight against the zone, especially?
You know, I thought it moved okay. I thought there were times that it moved really well, and then I thought there were some times where we could have made some quicker decisions. I thought we did a better job of driving today's zone. You know, I thought we got some really good shots in and around the logo that you have to be able to find against the zone that we weren't able to find in the game on Saturday. You know, I thought we got some clean looks from 3, even though we didn't shoot it great. I thought we got some pretty good looks at it. better looks than we got on Saturday, and I think it was attributed some more to some of our pace of offense. I thought guys organized quicker, cut harder, moved the ball faster, and that allowed us to get some of that penetration and some opportunity for shots.
It's a lot of that just getting out and running too.
I think at times, I think we did a tremendous job on the break. We had 15 on the break, but some of those were when they were kind of trapping us at the half court when we were hitting the head. But anytime you can get some easy buckets, out in transition, it certainly will help you against the zone.
Your second leading scorer didn't play tonight. How much did that affect them, you think?
Yeah, it's hard. I think if anybody loses one of their top guys, it makes it a real challenge to be able to have somebody pick up that load. You're talking about Primo Zier, who's 15 points a game, and Cam Parker, who's averaging 8 assists a game. Those are two guys that create a lot of the offense for them, and so it makes it difficult. And I think they had some guys playing some more extended minutes than you typically would, and that's where I would have liked us to be a little bit more locked in than we were, because I think that with those two guys being out, I thought we could have been a little bit more disruptive defensively for longer stretches, and I don't think we were. And so we'll talk about that and watch that.
So your defense only gave up 55 tonight, but your defense can play better than that.
Yeah, because I think some of the baskets they scored were some breakdowns by us, right? They were some simple actions, some simple rotations that we just didn't make with the proper urgency, right? And there's sometimes you're going to make those rotations great and someone's going to make a shot. Those things happen, and that's how we try and evaluate it, right? Sometimes they miss some shots tonight that I don't know if we affected them missing. They missed because they missed, and sometimes guys only look at the result and say, oh, they missed, so we just must have done a good job. Well, I'm looking at it saying, if we give that shot up 10 times and they make it 5, we're going to lose. So we can't give that opportunity up. We can't give those second chance opportunities up. Like EJ and the City can't shoot the ball on one block and go get the rebound on the other block while our guy stands there and watches, right? And that doesn't matter if they score 55 or 95. Those are plays that you have to be able to make if you're trying to continually improve and get stronger in the way that you play.
With AJ coming off the bench, you guys got a lot of production from your bench in general. Is there an advantage sometimes to a guy watching for the first couple of minutes, just getting acclimated, especially when he's going against a guy like Anasicki, kind of just eyeing him up before he has to step out there with him?
You'd probably have to ask him that. I think I think there can be some advantage. Some guys enjoy, coming off that bench and being in that zone where they can see it. Malik Petway was like that for us last year. He enjoyed being able to wait and watch the first couple minutes and then be able to go and hit the floor and be able to play, at a higher level. AJ obviously has been tremendous for us all conference play long, and he's playing starter minutes for sure. And so it was nice to be able to, it's a nice luxury to have, to be able to bring a guy like that off the bench, as well as Jalen and Savion. Those guys came in and gave us a pretty good punch. Jalen came in and got the 3-point play. Savion came in, hit his first shot. So all of a sudden now it's like, it's nice to have guys that can come off and give you production.
He was saying, AJ was saying that the school record for rebounds, it's nice, but it doesn't mean a ton to him. He's more concerned with the win. Do you try to make sure that like an individual guy, gets to, I don't know, enjoy that sort of honor or anything like that, or do you try not to emphasize it at all?
We emphasize it in the locker room. I think the performance deserve to be acknowledged and stuff like that. But I think those are the things that are really nice when your career is said and done. Like when you're in the moment of it, it's more about what the next challenge is and how can you go out and perform at a high level again. I think that's what we try and talk to our guys about more than anything.
This 4-game homestand, I know it's just over, but how do you think you'll kind of look back at these 4 games?
I thought our first home weekend, I thought we played excellent, and I thought this weekend we struggled. I honestly thought that this game tonight might have been our worst performance in conference play. I just from an engagement standpoint, from an energy standpoint, 17 turnovers today, so many of them careless. It just didn't seem like there was the amount of urgency that I would have liked throughout the entire game. I thought there was a lot of urgency early in the game, and then again, I thought we kind of took a deep breath and exhaled instead of staying locked in and continuing to try and build on some of the success we had. Right, we missed a layup up 15, it would have made it 17, and then all of a sudden we're up 9 at the half. We go up 18 at one point, I think, in the second half, maybe 17 in the second half, or 16 in the second half after Say makes that 3 with 12 minutes to go. Next thing you know, it's 48-42, and that's just not a winning recipe if you're going to be in big games coming down the stretch of the season, right? If they have their second leading scorer and their starting point guard, 48-42, you're probably not thinking you're feeling real comfortable, especially when you've had a 17-point lead.
How do you emphasize that with guys after, because that result is double-digit wins? So how do you make sure that they know, like, hey, we won, and that's nice, but there's
Yeah, well, again, that's, the old adage of that internal scoreboard, right? Are you doing the right things offensively and defensively? That's a part of our system. Like even that long pass that AJ had at the end of the game, trying to go long, like, don't do that. And so, like, those are the kind of plays that all of a sudden if they don't get talked about, now all of a sudden guys think that you can just go and make that play. But, as coaches, you're always looking at that long term, trying to say, hey, how can we continue to improve in what we're doing? Because we know down the stretch of the season, games are going to be, 1 or 2 possessions, just like our game on Saturday, right? 1 or 2 possessions that we didn't take care of and we didn't handle, and now you lose. And like I'll say to Yanis, I'll say to Savion, I'll say to Josh, our seniors, one of those last plays against the possession, or against the press, Yanis doesn't flash back to the ball. And I say to him, okay, well, you got to flash back. I heard you, he said. Okay, great, you heard me. Well, when are you going to do it? Right? Because you're in a conference semifinal game and you don't flash back to the ball and we turn that ball over and it's a 1-point game and they make a shot and you lose and your career's over, what are you going to tell me then? I heard you. Like at some point in time, if you know it, you got to do it. And I think that's what we want to see 12 games to go in our season, that guys are more locked into some of those details because the difference is in the detail, right? The difference is in the detail, how precise you can be on both sides of the ball, and that's what we're constantly looking for. Not like, hey, do we just trade baskets or we're just getting by? Because getting by gets you beat eventually.
Any questions?